Okay, here is what we do to make our date schedule. So we have 3 kids that we're focusing on doing this with right now. So I'm just going to list those kids. It'll be like kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3. I would typically put their names here. So we could just go age order, oldest, middle, and youngest. And then on the 4th week, we have a family week, meaning the whole family does an activity together. And so we split this column down. First, we're going to go dad with the oldest, and then mom with the middle, and then dad again. Why do I sometimes capitalize and sometimes not? I don't know. Okay, so dad, mom, dad, right? And then we've got family week. And then we go back and we're going to do child 1, 2, and 3 again. And this order keeps going. So now it's mom with child 1, because last time it was dad with child 1. So you can kind of see where this is going. And the schedule just repeats. So then down here, this 4th week, we have a family week again. We have just said, like, this makes so much sense for us, for our family. We work on having like a 3-hour and a $15 limit, which maybe doesn't sound like enough. Maybe it sounds like a lot. I don't know, but it's working for us. So we kind of go, what can we do for $15? So for instance, dad took kid 3 to the movie. That took about 3 hours. They went there, they watched the movie, and they spent about $15. When I went with kid number 2, we went out to eat at a deli, and we went thrifting, and we did a grocery pickup, which obviously that doesn't fall into the $15, but that was like separate. It just happened to be on the way. When kid number 1 went with dad, they went fishing. They did not spend any money at all. They only used what we already had, but it worked so well for them. And so we don't say, okay, you know what, we saved our $15. Now we can have a $30 date the next time dad goes with kid 1, which would be down here. Sometimes it's less, but we shoot for 3 hours, $15. This has been a fantastic way for us to get a little more one-on-one time with each kiddo. Also a time for us to get away from the house and get a little break. It's just been a win-win for everyone. And our dates are not like on a certain set, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's just any time within these dates that you can go. And so like kid number 1, he often has meetings on a Monday, so that wouldn't work. We've got church on Wednesday night. So then we know, looking ahead, what days can we fit it in between Sunday and Saturday? And so it'll switch up by the week. So like dad took kid 2 to a movie on Tuesday because the movies are only $5 that day. And they actually were able to upgrade and go to a little bit fancier, like the LDX with the reclining seats, that kind of thing, because they went on a Tuesday. Where had they gone on another day of the week, they would have been over that $15 limit at that theater. So they would have had to pick something different for that date. In regards to family week, we'll pick something like, I wanted to go to a Minnesota Twins game. It won't necessarily fall into that 3-hour, $15 limit, but it's just like, hey, let's make sure we go do something super fun as a family. My husband said, like, let's go to the park and we'll play baseball and play at the park and then order pizza to eat there. So those are some ideas that you could do like for a family night. In the winter, maybe we won't necessarily be driving depending on how the weather is. And so it might be a family night where we order food in, which is not something we typically do for our family. Speaking of winter, say it's like my date with kid number 1 in the winter and it is way too icy to go anywhere. We may have an indoor date. We may watch TV. I don't know. We may like pick a show to watch, a movie, play a board game, but doing something in the house where it's just that child and I, shut the door, have fun, play board games, and then come out 3 hours later. Hopefully this gives you some good ideas of ways that you can be more intentional with your family, with each child, especially in a big family. We have 5 kids. Our youngest is 1 and our oldest is 21. And so that's why we're focusing on the 3 middles right now that we've just noticed need a little bit of extra attention. Of course, we do things one-on-one with that 1-year-old all the time, but maybe it wouldn't be practical to like take that 1-year-old out of the house for 3 hours and do something on our own where like he is just as happy if we're sitting on the floor playing toys with him all day, which is what we do. So hopefully these ideas help. One non-negotiable for our family is over the weekend, we do a library date and sometimes a stop at a coffee shop just for a little bit of extra connection. We put the phones aside. Okay, sometimes I will take a picture or 2. Otherwise, we put the phones aside and we just enjoy being together. And that is so important. One thing that has really helped me with that is I bought an Osmo Pocket. It's a little camera that like it is not connected to the internet. Like it is literally just a camera. Remember how we used to carry just cameras? That has helped me a lot. So sometimes I will just throw that in my bag and use that. So I'm not pulling out my phone because I tend to like pull out my phone. Oh, I see an email notification. Oh, I need to write back to this person. And so I can be standing there with my kids in a coffee shop, and then all of a sudden I'm like replying back to stuff quick. And I'm like, that is not the lifestyle I want. That's not how I want to live. So limit the distractions, help yourself out, be more intentional. All right, I'm gonna sit down and have some breakfast with these kiddos. Thanks for watching. And as always, go out and do something awesome. See ya.